So it's Masters Week, and you're going to hear so much about how easy it is to draw 3-wood compared to driver. Well, I'm going to show you in today's video just how easy it could be to hit that baby draw with driver every single time. So there we have it, that little draw that you're going to see all week long at the Masters. Ball curving from right to left. But then with a lot of the top players in the world, and very much the case with a lot of amateur golfers, you see much more of this shape with driver. So that one just going a little bit left to right and nicely down the middle of the fairway. So all too often, and like I said, this is very much launch Masters Week, but you will hear that the top players find it much easier to draw 3-wood than they do driver. Now, I would say that's not necessarily true. I think a lot of guys, for what they're trying to do with driver compared to 3-wood, just makes it easier for that to happen. But we're going to talk about how you're going to get driver going, hitting that little draw, if it's what you want. Might just be to slice it less. But let's talk about the difference in how most of the top players are delivering 3-wood and driver. So obviously 3-wood's teed down nice and low. And what they'll be doing is when they're swinging, they're still hitting it like it's on the ground. So the lowest point of their swing is ahead of the golf ball. Now, when that club's traveling down, you can see it's actually traveling a little bit more from the inside or to the right. Whereas with driver, the ball's teed much higher, and they're then hitting up on driver. And obviously, as we can see, if it's moving to the right on the way down, it's then moving left more as we go up. So it's not necessarily the fact that they struggle to draw the ball with driver, but it's all down to the face relative to the path. So if you left the face at target and the club's traveling down, then the path will be to the right, the face will be closed, and the opposite with driver. So if you wanted to start drawing the golf ball, the first thing we need to do, particularly if you're a slicer with the golf ball, is you need to stop getting that club face coming back open to target. Because it doesn't matter if you set up nicely and that club face is open, even if you swing from the inside, you will see that shape curving out to the right, and then that'll be in real trouble. So unfortunately, all golfers tell me is they need to improve their path. But if you get that club dropping on the inside, and then the club face is open to that path, the ball sets off close to where the club face is pointing. So the first thing you want to do is potentially move those hands into a slightly stronger position or more on the right of the club. Now what that will allow you to do is it will allow you to close the club face a lot more than you can open it. So if for you, that's something you can do, you can set up and see that ball start to set off a bit more left. And we can see there on TrackMan, I managed to get the club face 3.9 degrees closed. The path was very straight at minus 0.4. I've hit up 4 degrees, and then that's a decent result. But remember, you have to get that club face close to the path. Now, when you swing very straight though, like that, then the ball's going to set off where the club face is pointing, or incredibly close. It's going to set off left and draw. So then what we need to start doing is thinking about how we're going to align our body. So if you were to set up dead square and swing, like we said, in theory, as the low point's behind, the club's traveling up, that path's working more left. So what we're going to do from there is we're going to move the front foot forward and the trail foot back and swing on the line our body creates. So it's going to move the circle you're drawing around your body much more out to the right hand side. And then as the low point's behind, the club's going to track up, be much straighter, and then we can deliver there. So remember, you've got to be willing to align down the right hand side if you're going to draw the ball. So change that setup. I'm also going to let not just my feet, but my knees, my hips, and my shoulders be more down that right hand side. I'm going to move that grip a little bit into that slightly stronger position, and then really focus on making a good swing, swinging on the line my feet have created. And we can see that one there. Low point behind, so I've hit up 4 degrees. Path has been 5.2 from the inside. Club face is reading us 3 degrees close, so it didn't shape a huge amount, but the contact there was just slightly towards the heel, which will have stopped the shape. But if you're a slicer of the golf ball, that will look amazing. If you're playing the 13th at Augusta, that's probably going to run through the fairway and into the trees. But remember, as long as we can start understanding why does the golf ball shape how it does. So the ball sets off very close to where the club face points. The path the club moves, that then shapes the ball. But also with driver, strike location can make a big difference. So we're going to fix that club face by having the hands in a slightly stronger position. We're going to align that body more up that right hand side and then put the swing on it. Even though that one's a little bit low on the face, we can see low point way behind. Club's travelled up 5.8 degrees. Club face was 6.6 degrees closed, swinging a little bit to the right, and it's cost me a little bit of distance because of the contact. But you can see, as long as you get good at understanding how that club face is going to be delivered, and then what the path's doing to create that, it's not necessarily easy to draw a driver, but it can be nice and simple. If you get good at delivering the club correctly, whether you're trying for draw, fade, or straight potentially, if you're in control of delivery, you've got a better chance of influencing the ball. Now, like I said, because most tour players, probably because they're hitting up, find it a little bit easier to hit that fade, they probably get their driver set up in a particular way that optimizes their driving conditions for the fade. The danger then could be that as they're closing that club face and maybe taking a bit more loft off, it actually might not perform quite as well. And some of the modern 3-woods can go nearly as far as driver, so it's not a big sacrifice for them to drop down from driver to 3-wood. But for the golfers who can get it going either way, it's a big advantage to get that driver out. Now, you might be watching this saying, well, that's fantastic, but that big slice is the killer for me. If you can work on what I've said there, you might not start drawing driver, but you might hit it straighter, hit it further, and if you can drive the ball in play longer, guaranteed that you'll get your scores down.